Lively is a narcissistic liar, bully, brat. That's the truth, in my opinion. And now we know that she harassed Justin Baldoni too. She threatened him that her dragons, Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift, she was the mother of dragons, she said, were there to be her enforcers. A claim that appears to have cost her her relationship with Taylor, who now reportedly wants.
Blake Lively has built a reputation on making people believe that flashing a smile on cue and dressing in luxury outfits equals real depth. But when Megyn Kelly zeroes in on her, that facade falls apart. Lively, who oddly thinks her Instagram posts qualify as meaningful political commentary, gets taken apart with sharp precision. The polished Hollywood image fades, exposing a star who mistakes clapping for wisdom. Kelly doesn't simply criticize Lively. She tears down the illusion of substance that Blake has been promoting.
For years now, but she did FAFO. Like, she thought she could blame all of her negative press on him. He's a weakling. She's Blake Lively with Ryan Reynolds, her dragon. And she decided, I can't take 1 month worth of negative press, which she got, generated, she says, by him. He says, by you and your badness. And she's so thin-skinned, look what happens to you. Look what happened to poor Jake Cal even on this show. People get picked on when they're.
Blake Lively has long relied on the notion that being naturally charming and effortlessly attractive makes her untouchable. Hollywood embraces it, tabloids glorify it, and fans accept it as if flawlessness were her default setting. But Megyn Kelly doesn't follow Hollywood's script. She tears apart that carefully crafted facade, revealing that Lively's public image is less about being a smart, influential woman and more about being a polished display piece with rehearsed lines. The takedown shatters that shiny exterior, exposing just how shallow the surface truly is.
Update for you in the Blake Lively-Justin Baldoni legal battle. This is a case in which Blake Lively accuses her co-star from the movie It Ends With Us, Justin Baldoni, who is also the creator of this movie. He's the one who optioned the book and had the idea for it to begin with, of sexual harassment and disparagement. Baldoni cross-claimed, saying Lively is a nasty bully who is unfairly blaming and disparaging him for the negative press she generated with her disastrous promo tour around the release of their movie back.
Enjoying this video? Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. Kelly starts by highlighting Lively's relentless fixation on crafting her image. Few stars control their public appearance as obsessively as Lively does. Every red carpet appearance, every Instagram upload, every interview answer is carefully designed to maximize appeal. Yet beneath all the constant self-branding is someone deeply afraid of seeming ordinary. Kelly dismantles this, ridiculing the notion that a celebrity who shares meticulously edited birthday wishes is somehow offering real cultural value. For Lively, even her version of being genuine is staged.
She wanted the emails between me and my team. She wanted the briefs or the packets. Hell no. The drafts of the packets. In my team, our discussions about how it went. Absolutely not. The nerve of this woman to think that I would ever turn that over or allow my team to turn it over. It just shows you the hubris that comes from being like this Hollywood star. You know what? You're up against it now, sweetheart, because
the roast goes straight for her acting career, which Kelly treats with the same weight as a shopping mall commercial. For years, critics have gone out of their way to frame Lively as an overlooked talent, but Kelly cuts through the pretense and calls it like it is. If your most notable achievement is Gossip Girl, maybe you're not the generational talent you've convinced yourself you are. Lively's list of roles reads more like a collection of wannabe iconic projects that ended up in the bargain section. Yet she carries herself in Hollywood with the confidence of royalty, as if marrying Ryan Reynolds somehow upgraded her credentials.
Justin Baldoni in this lawsuit with Blake Lively, because I think she's horrible and she's made up this whole thing because she tried to steal his movie. But he is the most overly feminized man I've had to endure in recent history. Everything he says is self-flagellating over the fact that he's a man. But he's, to me, sort of the embodiment of what happens when you totally emasculate a man. And then she continued, she took that stiletto and stuck it in his heart when he was down there self-flagellating, being so sorry for anything having to do with.
Megyn Kelly has a field day tearing apart the marriage narrative. Lively's whole persona has become so tied to her husband that much of her public charm comes from being one half of a famous pair. Kelly exposes the irony of a woman praised for her independence when her career highlights are packed with joint interviews, perfectly staged paparazzi shots, and constant nods to her husband's celebrity. In Kelly's roast, Lively isn't portrayed as an actress. She's a lifelong +1.
We were among those targeted by Blake Lively. Yes, she actually tried to get the confidential and proprietary materials my team and I used for any and all stories about her. Because Blake Lively was unable to fathom that yours truly had developed a genuine revulsion toward her on my own, she posited that I must have been ensnared in Baldoni's alleged ongoing smear campaign against her.
The hypocrisy, of course, gets its own moment in the spotlight. Lively often tries to dip her toes into advocacy, attaching her name to causes and tossing out polished remarks on global matters. But Kelly tears apart the hollowness of those gestures, mocking how Lively delivers sweeping statements that sound like they were lifted straight from a charity website's About Us page. It's performative activism disguised as insight. Activism that never risks, never sacrifices, never disrupts, just keeps her comfortably admired. To Kelly, it's peak celebrity privilege, getting praised for caring without ever putting in the real effort. The roast also calls out how Lively capitalizes on being relatable. She works hard to appear as the quirky, laid-back star who eats fast food, skips makeup, and jokes about herself on social media. Kelly incinerates that act as the most orchestrated marketing move of all. There's nothing more fake than a millionaire actress carefully curating her flaws, so the public thinks she's one of them. Kelly rips off the mask and shows the reality. Lively is as relatable as a designer handbag, but she sells the illusion with such a big smile people forget to look closer.
Insulting, Phil, to suggest that I would, first of all, I don't need money from Justin Baldoni, okay? Let's just be clear. I don't need his money. I don't think he has it to spare, and I don't need his money. And it's an insult to me. It's an insult to Baldoni. It's an insult to Brian Friedman. It's an insult to Candace. It's an insult to Perez Hilton. All these people. I don't know Perez in his, situation, but I firmly believe Candace would never take money from somebody to do her reporting. I would never take money from somebody to do my reporting. And this is her trying to smear, to use her word, the reporters who are out there who aren't in love with her.
The roast cuts even deeper when it shifts to Lively's selective privacy. On one hand, she fiercely shields her children from paparazzi attention, demanding respect for her family's space. On the other, she shares perfectly staged family photos when it benefits her image, using her kids as props to craft the picture of the flawless Hollywood mom. Kelly calls out the hypocrisy of demanding privacy while exploiting it for engagement, saying Lively treats boundaries like seasonal trends, fashionable when useful, ignored when they're not. And then comes the ego. Lively's interviews are peppered with humble brags about how she designs her own clothes, styles her own looks, decorates her own sets, and manages her household while balancing a Hollywood career. Kelly laughs at the absurdity of a woman trying to convince the world she does it all alone, when, in truth, an army of assistants, stylists, publicists, and nannies keeps the illusion alive. The roast turns Lively's supermom image into a punchline, mocking her for selling a fantasy no one in reality could ever uphold without falling apart. By the time Kelly is done, Blake Lively is left in the wreckage of her meticulously crafted brand. Her career, her image, her advocacy, her relatability, they all crumble under the weight of Kelly's merciless takedown. What's left is a celebrity who confuses applause for depth, image for identity, and presentation for substance.
Friedman and Justin Baldoni are going to win this case. You don't have to take all 20 of her allegations. Pick your top 4, right? And show. You don't have to take Baldoni's word on the birth scene. Listen to Adam Monsheim, who is telling you he was there. And by the way, here are the raw film outtakes from the whole thing, where you can see she is wearing black shorts. She does not have just a thin piece of fabric separating her genitalia from everybody there. And let's sit and listen to her alleged multiple requests for a cover, which everyone blew her. I bet it's not going to.
The ultimate punchline is harsh but accurate. Lively wanted to be seen as more than just a beautiful face, but thanks to Kelly's roast, that's exactly what she'll be remembered as, a Hollywood mannequin draped in borrowed depth, posing for cameras while the world laughs at how seriously she takes herself. What makes the roast sting is how perfectly Blake Lively reflects Hollywood's obsession with dressing up mediocrity as brilliance. She's not the first actor to confuse image management with legacy, but she's mastered the craft. Kelly exposes this with sharp precision, showing that Lively's most convincing performance isn't in any film, it's in playing herself, a carefully packaged version of a celebrity designed to be adored without ever being challenged. The sad part is, Lively truly believes that performance is genuine. Kelly dissects the way Lively markets herself as a businesswoman, dabbling in ventures, launching flimsy lifestyle brands, and posing as a mogul in the making, but none of it holds real weight beyond her star power. Kelly mocks the idea that Lively is any kind of entrepreneurial force, reminding everyone that putting your name on a product isn't the same as building it. These side hustles are vanity projects, designed more to stretch her image than to deliver anything meaningful.
She tried to wrest control of the movie It Ends With Us from Justin, from the editing to the wardrobe to the writing of the script and so on. And when he failed to comply with her demands completely and totally, she ginned up clearly fake allegations against him that he harassed her and turned the cast against him. That's what she did. She claimed his best friend, for example, was parachuted in to play the part of the OB when her character gave birth, just so that he could get a look at her lady parts during the scene, which she claimed were entirely uncovered. Well, that man, a Shakespearean actor, has since gone on the record saying he's an acclaimed actor with many credits and that Miss Lively was fully covered in biker shorts for the scene in question.
The roast cuts even deeper when Kelly targets Lively's staged humility. Blake has perfected the act of fake modesty, pretending to be surprised whenever she's praised, as if she has no idea she's admired for her beauty, talent, and fame. Kelly calls it what it really is, manipulation. No one truly believes that Lively, who has spent her entire adult life in the glare of cameras, is somehow unaware of her own status. It's a tactic, a way to keep the spotlight while pretending she doesn't crave it. Kelly also exposes the shallow nature of Lively's Hollywood relationships. Blake paints herself as a beloved insider, constantly seen at galas, events, and private dinners. But Kelly points out how empty those ties are, more about appearances than authentic bonds. In Hollywood, being photographed with the right people is its own kind of currency, and Lively spends it freely. The roast tears apart the illusion of warmth, portraying her as a social climber whose connections are as staged as her Instagram posts. Her family first image doesn't escape either. While Lively presents herself as a devoted wife and mother, Kelly reveals that this narrative is central to her brand. Those flawless holiday cards, those effortless-looking but staged candids, those birthday tributes dripping with carefully crafted affection. They're not genuine moments, they're marketing. Kelly drives it home. Lively has turned her family into a brand extension, just another prop in her endless quest for admiration.
His attorney, who happens also to be my own from well before his representation of Baldoni, must be controlling our coverage. In addition, she suggested that I was getting paid by Baldoni or by his lawyer, Brian Friedman, for my anti-Blake coverage, demanding to see all documents reflecting this alleged agreement or payment structure. This is how
the roast digs even deeper into her dependence on nostalgia. Blake's career still leans heavily on her connection to Gossip Girl, a series that wrapped up more than a decade ago, yet continues to keep her name relevant. Kelly mocks the absurdity of an actress clinging to the fame of a teen drama while trying to present herself as a seasoned Hollywood powerhouse. The roast makes it clear that without that single breakout role, Lively might have faded into obscurity, just another replaceable face in the industry. Kelly sharpens her criticism by contrasting Lively's Hollywood persona with her supposed activism. Whenever she addresses serious topics, her delivery is watered-down, cautious, and so carefully polished it hardly qualifies as a position at all. She avoids offending anyone, avoids alienating fans, and avoids any real honesty. Kelly calls her out for posing as courageous while sidestepping anything that would require actual courage. It's the blueprint of celebrity activism. Say just enough to make headlines, but never enough to bear any cost. Kelly then targets her relentless fixation on beauty. Blake Lively is constantly celebrated for her looks, yet she acts as if it's the least significant part of who she is.
There are still many content creators whom we believe are actively being bullied by Blake Lively to this day. We were in the fortunate position of being able to hire a lawyer to tell Lively to pound sand. Most of the people she's harassing do not have those resources, and she knows it. She's targeting them because she knows she can. She's richer, better connected, with high-powered lawyers who have nothing but time and billable hours on their hands, thanks to Ryan Reynolds' booze and acting fortunes. These two Hollywood mega millionaires think nothing of harassing powerless people on social media who have the temerity to write or speak negatively about.
Kelly tears away the illusion by saying what everyone tiptoes around. Her beauty is her currency. It's the very thing that has shielded her from criticism and kept her afloat in an industry known for chewing people up. Pretending otherwise isn't humility, it's deception. The roast turns her looks into a double-edged sword. The force that launched her career and the cage that will always define her. Kelly's final strikes are ruthless. She portrays Lively as a woman terrified of being ordinary, someone who has built an empire of staged moments to cover the reality that she lacks the talent or depth to stand on her own without them. The roast concludes that Lively isn't truly an actress or a businesswoman or an activist. She's a brand, a glossy logo masquerading as a person. The ultimate humiliation lands with the punchline, and Kelly doesn't waste it. Blake Lively always wanted to be remembered as a woman of substance, someone who could rise beyond Hollywood glamour and leave a mark as more than a pretty face. But the more Kelly dissects her, the more that dream unravels. What remains isn't depth, but an image, shiny, shallow, and endlessly rehearsed. In the end, she won't be remembered for artistry, intellect, or authenticity, but for exactly what she's always been, a staged photograph, an Instagram caption dressed up as insight, and a mannequin in designer clothes trying desperately to seem profound.